Hello, I'm Alma Angeles. We are moving to the next stage of the pandemic. As the world resets to the new normal, we find ourselves seeking the balance between health and livelihood, constantly adjusting the boundaries between liberty and responsibility. And now to the news. The United States has reported its millionth coronavirus case as hard-hit European countries took tentative steps towards lifting lockdowns. U.S. President Donald Trump was asked for a response on the millionth case of the coronavirus. Let's listen in.
We get from your prediction of 0 to 1 million.
Well, it will go down to 0 ultimately. And you have to understand, when it comes to cases, we do much more testing than anybody else. So we could go to some of these other countries, you know, as an example, China. If you test, you're going to show many more cases. So
the crisis has left tens of millions unemployed in the U.S., which has by far the highest number of confirmed COVID-19 fatalities, around a third of the global death toll of 214,000, according to an AFP tally. The pandemic has also claimed the lives of more than 57,000 people in the U.S., which leads the world in the number of confirmed infections with 1,002,498, according to the Baltimore-based school's latest count. The latest numbers come as the COVID-19 epidemic appears to be easing in hotspots like New York, while other states move to reopen their economies, even though case and death rates continue to rise in some places. New York remains the hardest hit U.S. state with 22,668 deaths and over 17,500 in New York City alone. Meanwhile, President Trump also said he is considering ordering coronavirus tests for people arriving in the United States on international flights and highlighted Brazil. Let's listen in.
Wear masks
we're
on
looking
planes.
at that, and we're probably going to be doing that. Brazil has pretty much of an outbreak, as you know. They also went a different way than other countries in South America. If you look at the chart, you'll see what happened, unfortunately, to Brazil. So we're looking at it very closely, and we're in coordination with other governors also, but in particular with Ron.
Meanwhile, hard-hit European countries took tentative steps towards lifting lockdowns with masks mandatory in all German shops from Wednesday. First signs that transmission of the virus has again picked up are visible in German official data. The infection rate mounts to around 1.0, meaning each infected person passes the virus on to one another. Germany is extending an existing warning against foreign travel until June 14, as curbs remain in place in many countries to stem the coronavirus pandemic. This is according to Foreign Minister Heiko Maas. He said we have not yet reached the point where we can recommend carefree travel, Maas said, adding, therefore, it is necessary to extend the worldwide travel warning until mid-June. Meanwhile, China's top legislature will hold its annual session next month after postponing the meeting for the first time in decades due to the outbreak of the coronavirus. According to Xinhua News Agency, the Communist Party leadership announced in February that it would put off the annual National People's Congress, or NPC, for the first time since the Cultural Revolution, as the country battled the outbreak, which has since become a pandemic. The rescheduled session on May 22 will be seen as a sign of confidence by the leadership that the country has largely brought its outbreak under control. In line with that, the municipal government has also announced at a daily press conference on Wednesday that Beijing will lower its emergency response level from 1 to 2, and that would start on April 30. In China's fourth-year response level, level 1 is the highest. Social distancing measures are all but ignored at Kong Toi Market, the wet market in Bangkok's largest slum communities. Now locals are mingling among the narrow alleys lined with fresh produce and live animals ready for slaughter. Let's take a look.
ถ้าเราไม่ออกมาเราก็ไม่มีกินอ่ะพี่เข้าใจว่ามันต้องออกมาหากินอ่ะเนาะ กลัวบ้างแหละกลัวไหมมันก็กลัวแต่ว่าถ้าเราไม่ออกมาเราก็ไม่มีเงินไงเราก็ต้องออกมาจับจ่ายขายของแล้วงั้นเราก็ได้เงินไปเลี้ยงลูกเลี้ยงครอบครัวไงไปรอเล่นแบบนั้น
In other news, a fire at a warehouse in South Korea killed 25 people. It was reported on Wednesday while all necessary resources were being mobilized to save those still trapped inside. The blaze at the unfinished four-story building in Incheon, east of Seoul, left 25 dead and 7 injured, according to South Korea's Yonhap news agency. A fire department official was quoted as saying the fire spread extremely quickly, rendering people inside unable to evacuate. The blaze was reportedly started by an explosion during construction work involving combustible urethane used for insulation in a basement floor. Prime Minister Chung Si-kyun ordered the mobilization of all necessary personnel and resources to find and rescue those trapped inside and extinguish remaining flames. The U.S. Air Force's Thunderbirds and Navy's Blue Angels flew over New York City, New Jersey, and Philadelphia in a salute to healthcare staff and other essential workers on the front lines against the coronavirus outbreak. Take a look. Eagle News will be right back.
Maraming salamat po sa nurse na nag-asikaso sa amin ng anak ko kahit sobrang busy niya.
Hindi po ako iniwan ng doktor hanggang sa umayos ang pakiramdam ko. Salamat po talaga.
Thank you po sa nursing assistant na pumansin agad sa amin pagdating namin ng ospital.
Thank you so much po talaga sa lahat ng staff ng ospital, maging sa mga utility po, dahil gumaling po ako dahil sa kanila.
Ating pasalamatan at pangalagaan ang mga magigiting na health workers.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon, gabay natin ang MTRCB ratings sa matalino at responsable.
Company Limited. The company recently revealed that male employees in their 30s were infected with the new coronavirus at Shinjuku Station. The infection was confirmed on April 26. However, on April 25th, the man had no COVID-19 symptoms. According to the railway company, the male employee was tested positive with the new coronavirus that he got from his family member after an inspection has been conducted. Now, 60 other employees who were believed to be in close working contact with him at Shinjuku Station were all advised to self-quarantine at home for the time being. The place where the man was working was immediately disinfected entirely. Although the man wears masks to prevent infections, he had come in close contact with some passengers at the station. The Public Health Center mentioned there is only a low risk of infection. Dentsu is now implementing stronger preventive measures against infectious diseases as they close coordinate with health officials. This is the latest news in Shinjuku Station. For now, reporting from Tokyo, Japan, this is Dennis Liu. We live in interesting times.
To Finland now, the traditional May Day celebration called Vappu will be a quiet one this year due to the pandemic. Christina Sumawang Kinnunen reports.
Hi, Alma. The Labor Day, or known as Vappu in Finnish, is celebrated annually with large gatherings in the main parks of cities in Finland. In the capital city of Helsinki, Finnish people during this event walks around the street of Esplanadi with their Finnish graduation white caps to gather and celebrate Labor Day. As the residents of the country are advised to stay home and follow the government's restriction to the ban of gathering of more than 10 people, picnicking in the main parks of the city, which is a common part of the Labor Day celebration, is obviously not a safe choice for this year's Vappu. The Daily Iltalehti noted a list of alternative ideas such as virtual picnicking with friends and families via video links, whether they can spread a blanket in their backyard or in their living rooms is a much safer way to celebrate the Labor Day. Every year, the capital city of Helsinki has its tradition of putting a student cap on the statue of Havis Amanda at the marketplace, which is commonly witnessed by a massive number of people every year. But because of the pandemic COVID-19, this tradition will be streamed online instead for everyone to watch. Aside from this tradition, the city of Helsinki is not canceling the Vappu's whole celebration at all, as they stream online, complete with entertaining performances and programs from April 28 until May 1st for everyone to watch. According to the update from the Finnish Institute for Health and Welfare, as of April 27, Finland has tested 82,400 samples, which has a total of 4,695 reported cases with 193 deaths, and according to preliminary estimation, approximately 2,500 people has recovered from the said disease. This is Christina Sumawang Kinnunen reporting from Finland Bureau. We live in interesting times.
To Lebanon now, demonstrators are protesting against the economic hardship as some of the coronavirus lockdown are easing now. Here's Gurley Salazar for the report. Hello, Gurley.
Ma.
Hello, Gurley. Kumusta kayo?
Update for today.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, mabuti naman po. Lebanese protesters confronted soldiers for a second day. People here are angry over a spiraling economic crisis. Demands all anti-government protests and movements were ignited despite a coronavirus lockdown. In the second city, Tripoli, protesters hurled rocks at the security forces who responded with tear gas and rubber bullets. The violence came after a protester died on Tuesday from a bullet wound he has sustained during overnight confrontation between troops and hundreds of demonstrators in Tripoli. Following the funeral of 26-year-old Fawaz al-Saman in the city's central Al-Naur Square, demonstrators went on the rampage, torching and vandalizing banks and military vehicles. Troops fired live rounds into the air, tried to disperse stones, throwing protesters under the clouds of tear gas. Tuesday's confrontation were the latest inspiring a string of the anti-government protests fueled by the unprecedented inflation and the plummeting Lebanese pounds. Lebanon's economic crisis have forced a large population into employment, protesters and furious over the rapid slides of the Lebanese pounds, which has plummeted in value by more than 50% in about 6 months. Meanwhile, a kilo of meat which used to sell for 18,000 Lebanese pounds, $12 at the official rate, now costs 32,000, around $22, while the price of the vegetables has doubled. Back to you, Alma.
Hello, girlie. Kumusta na po kayo dyan sa Lebanon? Ano po kami, interesado kaming malaman kung ano na po ang kalagayan ninyo dyan. Lalo na po yung ating mga kababayang Pilipino. Kumusta na po kayo?
Sa ngayon po, okay naman po kami dito. Kaso nga lang po, yung apektado po kami sa dollars. Lalo na, syempre, yung mga OFW. Dahil po sa pagbaba nga po ng bagsak po ng ekonomiya po dito. So, ngayon, ang nangyayari po, kailangan pong ang sahod ng mga OFW dito, Lebanese pounds na po. So, kailangan po namin bumili ng dollars para mag-send ng money sa Pilipinas na napakababa po talaga ng value na ngayon dito ng pera. At saka, ganun din po ang, kaya tuloy-tuloy po ang pagprotesta po ng mga tao dito dahil po sa pagbagsak po ng mga salary nga po yung sa sahod, kasi yung sa value po ng pera dito. At saka kawalan po din ng dollars at saka yung limitado po ng pag-withdraw ng pera sa bangko po.
Limitado ang pag-withdraw nyo ng pera. Sabihin hinihigpitan. Dahil walang pera ang bangko?
Opo, ang dollars. Walang dollars po.
Walang dollars. Kailangan nyo nang ipalit ng dollars yung pera nyo.
Opo, para makasend po ng pera sa Pilipinas.
Sa Pilipinas. Ang value naman ng napakamahal bumili ng dollar, gano'n.
Yun po. Kaya talong-talo po talaga ang sitwasyon. Halos kalahati po yung nawala.
Kalahati? Ang laki.
Opo. So, kasi po ang rate po na ng dollar ngayon is around $4,000 na 4,000 Lebanese pounds na po, which is before is 1,500. And then ang napakamahirap din po ngayon gawa ng ang mga Lebanon ay yung mga OFW, bis na yung kikitain mo is dollar, tapos sasahuran ka ng Lebanese pound. So ang mangyayari, mababa gawa ng bibili ka ng dollar.
Yung mga bilihin naman, kumusta naman po dyan?
Tumaas po ang mga bilihin. Kaya mahirap.
Mahirap talaga. Gaano po ang itinaas ng mga bilihin naman dyan?
Nasa 30%.
30%. So kunyari, magbigay nga kayo ng example ng bilihin dyan na maaari nating ma-compare dito. Kunyari, sabihin na nating mansanas.
Opo, ang mansanas dito, kasi sa bagay po ang mga sa vegetables kasi hindi masyadong sa mga fruits, hindi masyadong siyang as in tagang tatas. Bali, katulad po ng sa meat nga po, katulad po sa meat. Halimbawa, imbis na yung bilihin dati is nasa 12,000, tapos ngayon nasa 18,000 na, parang ganun po siya. Tumaas po siya.
Nagtataasan lahat ng bilihin, So nagpoprotesta ang mga tao.
Opo.
Ayan. Naapektuhan po kayo pa, hindi ba kayo inaabot ng protesta dyan? Kumusta naman po kayo?
Hindi naman po sa awa po at tulong po ng ating ama, malayo po sa protest. Kasi nabanda po sila dito lang sa, natutabi naman po sa pinaka-city na malapit sa amin. Dito medyo malayo po sila.
Yung coronavirus naman po, ano po ang sitwasyon nyo dyan? Kayo po ba ay naka-lockdown? Nakakalabas po ba kayo? Nakakuha ba kayo ng mga...
Yeah, we're still lockdown po at ang ano po matatapos ng lockdown is May 4.
Okay.
Yun po ang sabi pero hindi pa po tuloy kung mag-extend or ano pa po. Another, yeah.
May curfew din kayo?
Meron din pong curfew, katulad po ng halimbawa ngayon, makakalabas ka hanggang 5 o'clock ng hapon. And then curfew na po until from Friday to Friday and Saturday and Sunday is 24 hours po ang curfew.
24 hours ang... Pwede kayo lumabas?
Ang weekend po.
Yeah.
Ang weekend po is 24 hours ang curfew. Pero yung weekdays is until 5 ng hapon po.
Hanggang 5. So pag weekends, hindi kayo talaga pwedeng lumabas? Ganun po?
Hindi po. Hindi po talaga pwede. Mahigpit po. Gawa na kung mahuli ka, magkakaroon ka ng kulong ka or kaya magkakaroon ng penalty. Yun po ang ano ng government dito po.
May penalty po? Ganon?
Opo, may penalty daw.
Ayun.
Pero sa ngayon, wala pa naman pong nahuli siguro kasi po, takot pong magsilabasan po muna yung mga tao gawa ng siyempre yung spread out po yung sa COVID po, hindi na rin alam po, napakahirap po ng sitwasyon.
Napakahirap pala ng sitwasyon nyo dyan. Mag-iingat po kayo at we'll get more updates from you, girlie, kasi interesado kami kung kumusta na po kayo dyan. Maraming salamat, girlie, sa updates and stay safe, stay healthy, stay home.
Thank you for having me, Alma, and reporting from Veros, Lebanon. I am Girlie Salazar, and we are living in an interesting time.
Let's go over to Canada. Joining us live is Jeanette Duazo. Hello, Jeanette.
Hi, Alma, and hi to all our viewers.
Yes, what are your updates for us?
Okay, so as we all know, this virus is unknown to the medical world until about 4 months ago. Canada is relying heavily on science to find what this virus is all about and to develop a vaccine here in Canada. So following the announcement of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on the $1.1 billion for a national research strategy to fight COVID-19, the federal ministers and health officials also made announcements echoing this strategy on a more detailed plan of action. Federal Minister of Science and Innovation announced that part of this funding is $40 million towards COVID-19 host genome sequencing efforts in Canada. So the genome sequencing will be led by Genome Canada, a not-for-profit organization, and CGen, the National Facility for Genome Sequencing and Analysis in Canada. So the research will include identifying the differences between people who have mild symptoms compared to those who have severe symptoms. So how the human body responds to the virus in general and to track the evolution of this virus as it spreads. According to an article written by Dr. Naveed Aziz, Chief Administrative and Chief Scientific Officer at CGen, I quote, Canada's COVID-19 host genome sequencing initiative promises to generate new knowledge and provide much needed data to support diagnosis, prognosis, and treatment of this devastating pandemic and those that will surely follow. And I quote, CGen has 3 regional centers in Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. CGen's scientists at the Canada's Michael Smith Genome Sciences Center hosted at the British Columbia Research Institute in Vancouver, were among the first in the world to sequence the SARS coronavirus genome in 2003. Seagen scientists will work on 150,000 virus samples and 10,000 patients affected by COVID-19. And the federal government also have allocated $29 million for the National Research Council in Montreal in preparation for production of vaccines for clinical trials.
So when will
Alma.
this vaccine be ready?
Oh, they are just starting to do the genome sequencing, right? And in the medical world, it's been out there. It says that that's 12 to 18 months, including clinical trials and all those kind of stuff, even before it is ready for human consumption.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a long while, and they know that there's a global race to come up with a vaccine because it's really devastating globally.
Yes. And Canada is also, some states they are also reopening outlining some plans to reopen the economy. In BC, when are you, what are the plans over there? What is the direction of British Columbia?
Like what the Chief Medical Officer of Canada said, and also the Prime Minister, they are cautioning everyone that we really don't want to, the word was squander, all the efforts that have been done so far. So British Columbia, again, I would speak for where I am, because we're on the island, and there's a lot of places here that are open, but they're observing this strict physical distancing. The restaurants that are open for takeout, real estate agencies, they are open for private viewing, like appointments, if someone is interested to buy a property. Banks are open. So, like, honestly, for us, the only, what is not open widely are like malls, theaters, entertainments, those kind of stuff. But other than that, we hardly felt any difference.
No curfew. Do you have curfew?
No curfew.
No curfew.
No curfew.
That's good. But can you eat in restaurants, or it's just takeout or takeaway?
All takeout, yeah, all takeout. There's a lot of delivery, like home delivery. I think it's comparatively to the Philippines, it's the Grab.
Yeah, the Grab.
Yeah,
yes.
so we have a lot of those. A lot of restaurants, they stepped up their delivery, like home deliveries. It has become like there's an association for home delivery for like the restaurants. So you have to call in like one particular number and skip the dishes. That's what it's called. So we had that before, but now it's more people are using them. There's a lot of online purchases on pretty much everything. But there's also like places where we could go. Like I said, it's barely felt here that there is a closure, except for places where there's a lot of people will gather. Religious gatherings are not permitted at the moment. Big malls are closed. We did notice on the weekend we went to the mall because our bank is there. So our daughter wanted to go. I said, like, oh, the mall's closed. Like, no, I'm just going to the bank. But apparently it's open. Like, we all stayed in the car except for my husband and my daughters. So they went. And apparently the mall is open from 11 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon.
Were the stores open?
No, it's partial. It's partial. I think what it is, it's like only the one with entrances that it's directly from the street or from the parking lot. Those are open. But like the inside parts where there's the fast food center, those areas, I don't think so. So I'm guessing that they might open if they have more security in place where they could observe physical distancing of 6 feet or more.
Mm-hmm. And are you required to wear masks like some other countries?
Not really.
Not really. Okay.
No. There's when you go to grocery stores, the ones who are wearing masks are mostly Asians.
Mostly
Asians.
Oh, Asians. I see.
Yes. Yeah. There's a few Caucasians who wear masks, but yeah, I don't.
Mostly are Asians.
Wear it.
Do you
Yes.
wear masks?
I don't. No, I don't. No, bad girl. It's not a requirement. So
It's not a requirement,
And plus,
yeah.
and also there's some there's these opposing principles about wearing mask. Like if you're wearing mask and you tend to you're not used to it and you tend to touch your face, the more that you'll be able to contaminate yourself by touching your face
And your
with
mask,
your
yeah.
contaminated hands and your mask.
Yeah.
So it's better
It's
that
worse.
have a hand sanitizer with you when you're going out, touching a lot of stuff, like spray or sanitize your hands more often or wash your hands if it's available.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Thank you so much, Jeanette, for that update. We'll see you soon. Stay safe, stay healthy. Much appreciated for the time you gave us. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Alma, for having me. In British Columbia, Canada, this is Jeanette Brazo. And also greeting EBC on its 52nd anniversary. We live in interesting times.
Happy anniversary to us. Thank you, Jeanette. To Russia now, President Putin has extended its lockdown until May 11. Joining us live from Moscow is Dang Peroche. Hello, Dang.
Hi, Miss Alma and all the viewers po.
Kumusta po? Ano pong update nyo sa amin?
Okay po, so as of today, April 29, 2020, another 5,841 cases added, bringing a total of 99,399 recorded coronavirus infected cases all over Russia, ranking 8th as the most infected country in the world, with 8,456 recoveries, 1,110 discharged from hospitals, and 972 total deaths. In the past few weeks, the rate of cases each day in Russia continues its growth. That's why the government encouraged Russian people and other foreign nationals to remain inside their house. But the government has a few exceptions. These are allowing people to buy food or groceries only in the nearest supermarket, disposing trash, walking dogs within 100 meters along vicinity. And the others is to use digital pass, which they provided for the people to travel around the city with private or public transportations with necessary valid reasons. President Vladimir Putin declared on his video conference statement yesterday that the number of non-working days will be extended up to 11th of May due to the increasing number of COVID-19 cases. President Putin also ordered officials to draw up measures to gradually lift restrictions starting May 12 by next week. He also mentioned that the deadly threat of the virus remains. It could affect everyone. In that regard, we all need to be concentrated, disciplined, and mobilized. Because of this epidemic, many individual entrepreneurs, self-employed citizens, small companies, including family-owned enterprises, in the development of which people have invested their strength, labor, savings, and hopes for years, have faced acute problems. We must support them, give them confidence in the future, President Putin said. That's why the President instructed the government in the near future to develop a new next package of urgent measures to support the economy and the citizens.
All right. Dan, kumusta naman pa, anong ginagawa nyo ngayon dyan na lockdown ngayon sa Russia?
So gaya nga po ng target lockdown po dito sa Moscow, Russia, we managed to make ourselves busy po na nandito lang kami sa loob ng aming mga bahay, we do things na kailangan namin maging productive kahit na nasa loob lang kami ng bahay. Yung mga usually things na hindi po namin nagagawa nung mga panahong nagtatrabaho kami, nagagawa namin without rushing. Like, we clean the flats, mga tidying things, sorting things na hindi namin nagagawa. Siyempre, dahil nga nasa loob lang din naman tayo ng bahay and lagi tayong nakain, we are cooking.
Yes. I think lahat, I think everybody's parang ganun ang ginagawa nga, laging kumakain because of the lockdown. And how are you keeping yourself positive during these times?
Yes po, syempre naman po. Kaya may ang mga positive tips na pwede ko pong maibigay na ngayon is, aside po sa daily hygiene, syempre kailangan nating kumain ng mga nutritious foods. Most especially po is mga foods that is rich in vitamin C, which boost our immune system po para syempre makaiwas po tayo sa mga viruses like that. And syempre, proper sleep. Sometimes we also do exercise, pero kailangan exercise para hindi tayo mag-gain ng weight. Yun po ang mga tips.
Kailangan kong gawin yan. I need to do that. Thank you so much, Dang, for your update. And stay safe, stay home, stay healthy always. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you po, Miss Alma. So, reporting from Moscow, Russia, I'm Rodora Peroche, and we live in interesting times. Thank you po.
Now, there's an increase in deaths in the care homes in the United Kingdom. Let's find out more from Caroline Kennedy. Hello, Caroline.
Hello, Alma.
Hi, what are your updates for us?
So on Tuesday, Britain said that it would extend its reporting of deaths within the coronavirus outbreak to care homes and the wider community, after new statistics indicated that the country had been underreporting its tolls. Until now, only the deaths of people who have tested positive in hospitals have been reported. 586 more deaths were reported in the period on 4 p.m. GMT time on Monday, taking the official toll to 21,678. But new data from the Office of National Statistics counting community facilities within COVID-19 was mentioned on the death certificate, indicating a higher figure, putting Britain on track to being as badly as affected as the worst hit nations, or even worse. From tomorrow or today, we will publish not just the number of deaths in the hospital each day, but the number of deaths in care homes and the wider community too, Health Secretary Matt Hancock told the reporters. A total of 21,284 deaths in just England were due to the coronavirus, compared to the official announcement on the day of hospital deaths from National Health Service, NHS England, to 13,917. Hancock has confirmed that 4,343 had died from COVID-19 in care homes, but said that the proportion represented about a sixth of the total toll. It was just below what we would see in the normal times, he added, but he rejected claims that the government had not done enough to protect the elderly residents and that those at most risk from the disease and social care staff on the front line. One of the difficulties in getting accurate data was due to the estimated 15,000 largely private care home sector being part of some 10,000 different organizations, he said. Getting a true picture of the number of COVID-19 deaths in Britain is complicated, as the developed administrations in Scotland and Northern Ireland report deaths outside the hospital separately, that and different reporting periods for registrations of death had led to varying estimations in British media. But the statistics underline a wider problem in the British government, which is under pressure to reveal a strategy for easing down a national lockdown imposed that was made on March 27th. Our Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who returned to work this Monday after recovering from COVID-19, had indicated that the strategic restrictions would not be lifted anytime soon. Hancock said that the key criteria remained getting the daily death toll and infection rates down. The government has set itself a target of testing 100,000 people a day for COVID-19 by the end of the month, and had widened its regime to care homes and the over 65 and those who are unable to work from home. It is also looking to launch a smartphone contracting application in the coming weeks to alert members of the public if they have been in close proximity with anyone who develops symptoms of COVID-19. Back to you, Alma.
Okay, so Caroline, you're from our EBC Scotland Bureau. What is Scotland is part of the UK, so what is happening in Scotland as well?
So the country's lawmakers are looking to pass an emergency coronavirus bill designed to give Scotland increased powers in protecting its 5.47 million citizens from COVID-19. Although many new regulations and law have been passed by members of Parliament in London are forced in the country, areas of which the government has developed power required in new Scotland-specific laws. This includes the courts, businesses, and housing regulations. The Scottish government admits that there will need to be a big significant adjustment to the operation of public services and businesses to keep Scottish courts running and dealing with serious criminal trials. Everyone from judges, solicitors, lawyers, the accused, witnesses, and the jury will be able to appear via video link. The bill also gives renters of homes greater protection from eviction during this pandemic lockdown, with a minimum of notice of 6 months from the landlord that they can give to the tenants. After the bill has passed, Holyrood will be closed for several weeks to allow the pandemic to pass. The new legislation has a 6-month limitation after the politicians would need to vote to continue the new laws for another 6 months if it was necessary. Also, to assist Britain's National Health Service in treating people hospitalized by COVID-19, a new medical facility, NHS Louisa Jordan, which was named after a World War nurse, has opened up in Glasgow. It has an initial capacity for 1,300 coronavirus patients, with the option to expand to accommodate more than 1,000 people. The facility mirrors a new NHS Nightingale and a huge coronavirus dedicated temporary hospital in the Excel Conference Centre in London.
All right, thank you very much, Caroline, for your updates. We'll see you soon. Stay safe, stay home, stay healthy. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Alma. I'm Caroline Kennedy from Glasgow, outside Scotland, and we live in interesting times.
Eagle News will be right back. right, the Filipino engineer in Saitama, Japan, designs and creates his own improvised face shields. And then he donates these face shields to healthcare workers in Japan and the Philippines. Tyra Lu has more.
As every nation battles against the COVID-19 pandemic, every country has run out and is running out of several equipment necessary for the protection of our health. This is even true to several hospitals in many countries. This is the reason why here in Japan, a Filipino engineer has designed and created his own improvised face shields that he has donated to healthcare workers in Japan and in the Philippines. His name is Paul Kasekin from Saitama, Japan. Let's get to know more about him.
Gandang araw po. Ako po si Paul Kasekin at narito po ako ngayon sa Saitama, Japan. Isa po akong CAD or Computer Aided Design Engineer sa aming company dito sa Soka, Saitama, Japan. I've worked here for almost 3 years. Itong 3D printing po ay naging hobby ko late 2019. Naging part-time business ko po. May mga nagpapagawa po sa akin ng 3D design at nagpapaprint po nito. Dahil sa sakit na COVID-19 ay nangangailangan po ng maraming PPE o personal protective equipments, lalo na po ng mga frontliners at mga health workers. At dito sa Japan, nagkakaubusan na rin po ng mga ganong uri equipments tulad ng mga face mask, gloves, face shield. Kaya nais ko pong tumulong sa ganitong kakulangan. Kaya naisip ko pong gumawa ng improvised face shield. May kapartner po ako sa Pilipinas at nakapag-donate din po kami doon sa mga frontliners through the help of our local government. Napag-donate po ako dito sa Japan ng 10 pieces of face shield sa Tokyo Kyosei Hospital at on process pa po yung donation namin para sa isang hospital sa Tochigi.
Later, he will show us how he made this face shield he sent me.
Gamit po yung aking 3D printer ay nakakagawa po ako ng improvised face shield holder tulad po nito. Ipapakita ko po sa inyo kung paano mag-print ng ganito. Susunod, papakita ko po sa inyo kung paano mag-assemble. Ito po ang aking 3D printer na nandito lang po sa loob ng kwarto ko. Itong plastic po na ginagamit natin ay polylactic acid or PLA. Ito po yung common na element na ginagamit po ng mga 3D printing dahil sa eco-friendly po ito at odorless, kaya safe po ito gamitin. 1 hour and 15 minutes po ang pagpiprint ng bawat isang face shield, kaya makakapag-produce po ako ng 6 pieces a day. Madali lang po yung pag-assemble ng ating improvised face shield. Ito po na po yung finished product na na-print natin. Ito na po yung kailangan natin. Tapos clear plastic, rubber band. Gumamit po ako ng card case dahil nabibili po ito sa mga malalapit na 100 yen shop dito sa Japan. Pwede po itong disposable, pwede ding hindi. Pwede rin punasan na lang pagkatapos pong gamitin. Ganito po yung pag-assemble nito. Nalagyan natin ito yung rubber. Ito po, tapos na po yung ating face shield. Sana makatulong po ito sa ating mga health workers.
Paul is currently printing several more face shields that he will be donating to a hospital in Tochigi, northern part of Japan. And for an inspiring message to all our viewers during this state of emergency, here's what he has to say.
Sana po magtulungan tayo sa gitna ng nararanasan natin ngayon. Mahalaga na maging maingat po tayo lagi at maging mapagmalasakit sa kapwa para malabanan po natin sama-sama itong pandemic na ito. Ay natin tumulong kahit nasa bahay lang po tayo katulad ng ginagawa ko po. At higit sa lahat, malaki yung maitutulong po ng pananalangin natin sa Panginoong Diyos. Salamat po.
Indeed, not every superhero wears a cape and has superpowers, and he neither needs to die to be one. In fact, Paul has shown us that even in our own little ways, even in the comforts of our home, we can be a hero and help save lives. From Tokyo, Japan, this is Tyranel Piliulu for Eagle News, because we live in interesting times.
All right, and now we go to Italy. A family there has sent me this video, and they're showing us they're going to show us how to cook lasagna, a delicious diversion from the lockdown. Watch this.
Hi everyone, I am Richard Mendoza, and I am with my daughters,
Avi, Lara.
We are here in Milan, Italy, in a country which is one of the hardest hit of the COVID-19 pandemic. The lockdown here was extended thrice already, and the Italian government is very strict in implementing the lockdown. That is why you are basically staying inside your home. As you can see, in front of our house is a park.
It's already springtime here, and usually during daytime, this park is full of people, but as you can see, it is empty right now.
But on the brighter side of it all, we have more time to spend with our family. And while self-quarantined, people are turning to cooking, but not just for sustenance, but for comfort and entertainment too. And right now, we will prepare an Italian food that is very known to many. What is it, Clara?
Le lasagne!
Yes, le lasagne.
Quick trivia, as many people call it lasagna, the right term is le lasagne.
Yes, because it is plural. So, are you ready?
Yes!
Okay, let's go!
Hi everyone, I'm Jaja.
Okay, we already cooked the ragu because it is important that it is not too hot while preparing the lasagna. Avi will do it. Of course, she is the lasagna master in this home, and with the help of Lara. It is also important that you tie your hair and wash your hands before cooking. Okay? So here are the ingredients.
This is the ragu, which is giniling for Filipinos, bechamel, mozzarella, sliced cheese, ground cheese, and the pasta. While preparing the lasagne, we need to preheat the oven.
First step.
We need the pasta.
Okay, pasta. You have to fill up the pan with the pasta.
Yes.
And then
the ragu.
The ragu. After filling it with the ragu, and then what is next?
Then you pass me the
Lara will pass the
sliced cheese.
Sliced cheese, okay. Thank you, Lara.
We need to split it in two. And then
it's better to have that space. It's okay?
Yes.
Okay. And
then Lara, the mozzarella please.
Mozzarella please. Okay. Lara is handing Abby the mozzarella. You're putting it beside the cheese.
Yes.
And then the bechamel. Do you have to fill it up also?
Yes.
Okay. Whoa. And then the ground cheese.
Yes.
Lara will give it to Ate. Wow. Looks delicious. And where, Lara?
Yes.
Okay, and then we will do the second layer,
Yes.
right?
The
Okay.
layer.
And then we will do the same procedure.
Yes. Yeah. Same thing.
Same procedure, how many layers? As much as you want.
Yes.
Okay.
On the last layer, you do not put the mozzarella because it will be burnt.
You can put all the ingredients, but
Not the mozzarella.
not the mozzarella. Okay. You can do it. Okay, very good. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Okay, Dalilara. Okay, right now we will put the lasagna inside the oven. Okay, and we will leave it here. How many minutes, Abby? 40 minutes. Okay, we'll set the timer for 40 minutes. 30, 40. Okay, 40 minutes is up. We will check if the lasagna is now ready. Let's turn this off and then let us open. Wow, it is now ready. We will now get the lasagna. Okay. Wow, looks good. Okay, the lasagna is ready. Reporting from Milan, Italy, I am Richard Mendoza. We live in interesting times.
All right, thank you. And before we close, we leave you with a word of hope. At the end of the day, there remains so much more to be grateful for. See you again tomorrow evening. Good night. I'm Alma Angeles, and we live in interesting times.